on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. I said everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Now let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Hey, 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 hey.
Good morning. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living in Santa Rosa. I'm Russ Laguerre, your assistant minister. And can we give some more love to Chris and Brett and Nick? Each Sunday, we close our service with a benediction that affirms that we accept life just as it is and exactly. This acceptance, though, it's not about being okay with the injustices that we see in the world. Rather, it's an invitation. It invites us to let go of our attachment to the anger and the resentment that we sometimes feel when we see those injustices. And it is an encouragement. It encourages us to accept that we have the power to chart a better course, one that's led by compassion and curiosity. Whether you're in the room or you're watching online, please know that you are welcome here, where we aspire to accept everyone by honoring inclusion, equity, and diversity. Now, please join me in reading out loud our mission. The Center for Spiritual Living is a spiritual community that promotes global transformation through personal transformation. Our purpose is to awaken humanity to its spiritual magnificence. We are motivated by a compelling global vision that inspires us to bring the gifts of compassion, integrity, and loving kindness to the world through our programs and teaching. Together, we are helping create a world that works for everyone. We learn to accept life as it is and as it is not through our 5 spiritual practices. And would you please read those with me? Spiritual study, affirmative prayer, meditation, selfless service, spiritual circulation. We would now like to extend a very warm welcome to our first-time visitors. First-time visitors, would you please stand as you're able or raise your hand? We would love to bring you a flower and a welcome packet as a token of gratitude for you joining us today. And please keep your hand up and remain standing so we can find you. I know that somewhere in the music, the meditation, the prayer, the practices, and in Dr. Edwards' message today, you will find exactly what you need for the next step of your spiritual unfoldment. Please know you're very welcome here. Now, I invite you to enjoy some music before our short time of silent contemplation and prayer.
As I say a tender yes to everything that comes to me, my heart is open, I am free. I open to all that is, it brings me to my knees. I surrender, I am peace. Won't you join me as I say a tender yes to everything that comes to me. My heart is open, I am free. I open to all that is, it brings me to my knees. I surrender, I am peace. To all that is, it brings me to my knees. I surrender, I am peace. I surrender,
There is a power for good in the universe, a power for good everywhere. It is a power of love, a power of givingness. It is this thing called life. It gives life because it is life. This we may call God, we may call spirit, we may call the divine, is everywhere present to all of life. It is all of life. And I feel my connection with it always, day by day. I have my antenna attuned to that God-centered place within me, and it adds love to my life. And as it does this for me, so too can and does it do this for every single person. Every person here in this room, every person beyond these walls, everywhere. Love is present. And this presence just fills us and lets us know that there is an answer to every question. There is an answer for all puzzles, for any time of being unsure about which way to turn. Spirit divine gives that clarity within so that we know what to do, how to do, where to do, and we borrow faith from one another right here in this room, right here, wherever any person may be. Spirit divine is there, ready and willing to guide, to listen, so that we know that we are one in this spirit. We are one with each other. And that love is the answer always, always, before a question even arises. Knowing this, I am knowing that this morning's service is just flowing in absolute delight. From the music to the volunteers to each and every person who is sitting in a chair here, to everyone within the sound of my voice. This service just flows, and each one of us takes that which most enriches and enlivens us, from the words that are spoken, from the music that is played. And so we are the richer for being here today. I am so grateful that there is nothing more that I need do except to say that tender yes, 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 and invite us all to say together, and so it is. Amen. Good morning. My name is Sherry Poole. I am one of the prayer practitioners here at the center, and I invite you to read this morning's affirmation with me. I embrace acceptance as a pathway to deeper love and freedom, and so it is.
inhibitions and sense of dread. When I give up control and I let you hold me with no resistance in my soul. Feel free to join me. Now is the time when I let go of my fears, inhibitions, and sense of dread. When I give up control and I let you hold me with no resistance in my soul. This is the day when I throw it all away to the fire of the all-loving one. Now I have your love. I surrender and I remember the light and the beauty that I am. This is the day when I throw it all away to the fire of the all-loving one. Now I have just what I need to be free, to feel who I really am. This is the day when I throw it all away to the fire of the all-loving one. Oh, now I have just what I need to be free, to feel who I really am. Now is the time when I let go of my fears, inhibitions, and sense of dread. Now I have just what I need to be free, to feel who I really am.
Thank you very much, Nick and Brett and Christopher. So beautiful. Thank you. Like a prayer. Almost seems like an interruption to applaud. Thank you very much. And you know that we are always surprised, and ought not to be, that the music and the message and the affirmation just sync together every Sunday. So beautiful. So let's get into it. What are you accepting into your awareness, so much so that it's welcome in you and you no longer question it? What are you dwelling upon, so much so that it is your normal way of seeing the world? Some of you will remember Lewis Mackenzie. He was the contractor who helped us renovate this roller rink into our Center for Spiritual Living. And he was also a dear friend of mine. One day we were sitting having lunch together and talking about our status as single men at the time. And he said, you know, Edward, that day when we both have partners, we should go on a double date together. And I replied with words that I had said in my mind so many times that I didn't even need to think about it. I just said, I don't think that's going to happen. To which Lewis responded, not with that attitude, it won't. And what he was helping me to see was that what a person truly accepts becomes something that we call a mental equivalent, and that something shapes just everything else. You know, we talked about that last week, the teaching of mental equivalence. It's this idea in our teaching that what I picture in my mind so frequently that it becomes normal and I accept it, well, it really sets the standard for everything in my experience. And here's how it may work, you know. If, according to me, and I've accepted it, that it's not going to happen, well, then why plan for it? Why fantasize about it? Why dream about it? Why dress up for it? Why bother? Lewis really got me on that lunch date. And then something very funny happened at the same date. A very attractive waitstaff person came along to take our order, and as she left, I said to Lewis, "Why don't you ask her for her number?" To which he answered, "Oh, I'm not in her league." And I said, "Not with that attitude, you're not." We both discovered something that day, that we had very strong ideas in place that we had accepted about how we were and how the world works. And these ideas were likely causing us to remain stuck and perhaps even causing us to suffer a little. And we got to the point where we discussed, we may need to decide whether we want to continue accepting them as so or not. And this is really at the heart of our Science of Mind teaching. Our founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes, he taught us in his words that we are surrounded by a creative medium that receives the impress of our thought. That's how he said it. And what Lewis was helping me to understand was that what I was impressing upon this creative power was more than just a single thought, No, it's a picture in my mind that I had accepted so deeply that I no longer questioned it. As it says on page 195 of our Science of Mind that Dr. Ernest Holmes wrote, he says, "We should carefully consider whether we are willing to experience the results of our thinking." Oh dear. Well, let me tell you about Steve Taylor. Dr. Steve Taylor, he wrote a book, Out of the Darkness, and on a blog article in Psychology Today, he talks about the power of acceptance, because he had a debilitating ringing in his ear that affected his life just 24/7, all the time. It was right in his face all the time. And for years, he accepted that it was going to be an ongoing, permanent struggle. And he tells the story about how something shifted in his attitude about this ringing in his ear. It shifted from resisting it to another kind of attitude that allowed him to thrive in the presence of it. He tells how he discovered that it was his resistance to it that was kind of adding another layer of suffering to him. And so by the process of softening his resistance, his experience began to shift. Now, the condition remained. It didn't vanish. It still rang in his ears. But his relationship with it changed, and that changed his ability to engage in life. And then, drawing upon his own personal breakthrough, he started to study other people who faced significant struggles, such as cancer or loss or grief or alcoholism or being disabled. And he discovered that they had something in common. He found that sometimes traumatic experiences like the one he was studying could actually turn out to be positively powerful effects in these people's life. And the essential factor he found in their transformation was acceptance. They let go, but they didn't quit. They accepted, but they didn't stop or give up. They faced the full reality of what was going on, but kept going. And likely these shifts into acceptance took place over time with practice and with support. And I'm guessing they had to restart a few times in that journey. And his story caused me to remember one of those common sayings we have in our teaching. It goes like this: what you resist persists. Oh, our founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes, spoke about that a lot. He was deeply impressed with and inspired by the teachings of Jesus of Nazareth, and he would often quote the Sermon on the Mount where Jesus said, "Resist not evil." And Dr. Holmes, the way he understood it was, don't meet certain energy on its own terms. Like, don't meet wrongdoing with its own energy. The idea is that responding to aggression, for example, with aggression, binds us to aggression. So he taught us not to fight the darkness, but to turn on the light within and to let it guide us through whatever it is we were facing. And for our inner work, what that means is don't suppress, don't resist the shadow aspects of ourselves in our life, with judgment or with punishment or with rejection or with violence, because doing so tends to make them more solid, when we push against them. Rather, he invited us to learn to gradually adopt a change in attitude as best we can, step by step, little by little, change what we accept about ourselves. And one way of doing that gently is to notice where our attention is and then gently move it to our spiritual identity without denying our human experience. And then we can also add to that learning to, as we spoke about last week, to look for the good in our lives and raise it by praising it. Because, according to this other statement in our movement, because energy flows where attention goes. Dr. Altman, who wrote the Mindfulness Code, he says that, this kind of redirecting of our attention to what we have in our life, we don't have to be concerned that it will cause us to be superficial or that we'll end up ignoring the real difficulties in our life. He says instead, this practice of redirecting our attention will help us more effectively notice the ordinary things in our life that have the energy of peace and power and courage and creativity, so we can draw upon them. This redirecting is so powerful as a spiritual practice. Recently, our cycling team came back from the 7-day, 545-mile ride, the AIDS Life Cycle, from San Francisco to Los Angeles to raise funds for people living with HIV and AIDS. And, on that ride, I know because I did it 4 or 5 times, there are many opportunities along the route to feel discouraged, and exhaustion will play a part in it, and pain will play a part in it, And one long-time rider, paying attention to these struggles and the discouragement in some of the cyclists, especially the new ones, in response to that, created this tradition of leaving a plastic egg taped to the cyclist's seat during the night. And inside this little plastic egg was a short note of appreciation and a reminder, as the notes would say, of the heroic nature of riding to help fund someone else's health, safety, and well-being. Now, one year when I was on the ride, I had a really hard time. It was 2015, I remember it. And some mornings were brutal and cold, and you just didn't want to get back on that bicycle. I wanted to quit so bad. And I got up one morning in that mindset, feeling really beat up by the cycle. And there was the egg on my seat. And within it was this note that described me as a hero. And it had this marvelous effect on changing my own mental image of myself. And in that moment, I could do both things. I could accept, yes, this is a struggle. Yes, indeed it is. And I also have a strength within me that is driven by a vision. Oh, just this one tiny moment of redirecting my attention through the kindness of a stranger, it changed my whole energy level. And more than that, I started to share encouragement with other struggling cyclists. And in so doing, I learned that when we see ourselves in the light of that creative power that lives within us, we can become a powerful force for change and compassion in the world. We can influence the world. Like Lizzie Velasquez did. Lizzie was diagnosed at the age of 2 or 3 with an extremely rare medical condition. I think there are only 3 people in the United States that have it. It's a condition that prevents her from gaining weight and also affects her vision. I think she's blind in one eye now, and also it severely impacted her appearance. And growing up, she faced relentless bullying. Children can be like that, as well as adults. It was deeply painful for her, as she relates, because that bullying was intentional. And also because she came to despise her own reflection. As she puts it, there was a time when she simply wouldn't look into a mirror. She couldn't. And for years, Lizzie saw herself through the eyes of her bullies. And she had accepted that somehow she didn't fit. She was broken. She was wrong. She didn't belong in the world. That was her mental equivalent. But something started to change in high school, began to shift. She realized that she had some power over her own life, that she could practice being a little more positive, and she became inspired by her own new level of self-acceptance, and she began to gently start making friends. And she even joined the cheerleading squad, and she even started writing for the school newspaper, and she started to feel more herself around her peers. It was a change for her. But then something happened. At age 17, she was doing some research online, and she stumbled upon a YouTube video, a viral YouTube video of her. I believe there were millions of views with really harsh, spiteful comments about her appearance, calling her things like the world's ugliest woman and much worse than that. And it felt for her, as she reports, that in that moment everything she had worked for was destroyed. But somehow she found a way out of that darkness. She found a way to throw the switch and turn that light on inside. She made a decision about what, from that moment on, she would accept about herself. She talked about it in an interview. She said that she started to feel motivated not to change those commentators, but to change the way she perceived herself. Instead of accepting, I am what they say I am, she began to tell herself resolutely, I am more than what people see. I have purpose. And with this mindset, she started to create something that she called the Love Yourself list. And she wrote down everything that she could possibly find that she liked about herself. And then she put it on her bathroom mirror, and she read it, as she says, I read it until I believed it. And what she was doing was creating a new mental equivalent that way. A new mental equivalent that said, what makes me unique is also what makes me beautiful. And that acceptance gradually transformed her hurt into the energy of creativity and power. And she ended up giving a TEDx talk that reached millions of people. She wrote books and she appeared on national television, and she became an internationally recognized anti-bullying advocate. And even today, she reminds her audience, you are more than what people see. You are what you believe about yourself. Now, it's important for me to note that Lizzie did not change her physical appearance. Her physiology remained. She didn't change people on the internet. They stay the way they are. She changed what she let in about her worth, and in so doing, she transformed her pain and developed it into a platform that has inspired millions of people worldwide to accept their own selves, their love. There is a teaching in Buddhism that is relevant. It is known as the parable of the poisoned arrow, that describes the difference between, well, being aware and being unaware in life. So the first arrow is the inevitable arrow. It's life. It's the arrow of pain and disappointment and loss. It's the arrow that happens to everyone. The second arrow is the poisonous one. The second arrow is the one we shoot at ourselves, and it comes in the form of the reaction we have to the first arrow. In other words, the mental resistance to it. Sometimes it comes in the form of why me, or it comes in the form of fighting and resisting what is. When we can do what Lizzie did and rearrange what we accept, when we can both accept that challenges are part of life, but at the same time, there is a creative power within us that we can draw upon to guide us through it, that's when the second arrow cannot enter to harm us. Of course, there is a long list of things in life that we should never accept. Oppression, physical abuse, injustice. And as the author mentioned earlier, Steve writes, there are some occasions when it's appropriate to change our mental attitude, and other occasions when it's more appropriate to change our life circumstances. And it's important to understand the difference between those. As the Serenity Prayer notes, in life, we learn to accept the things we cannot change and then courageously change the things we can. So sometimes acceptance means allowing life without resistance. And other times it means choosing what to accept and affirm about ourselves and life. So this then is our spiritual work, to become non-resistant to life, but not complacent. To consciously choose how we see ourselves, but not blindly accept what other people project onto us. To become people who have accepted our life experiences, but without letting them define us and without letting them cause us to forget our spiritual nature. So I ask you again a similar question to I started with. What are you accepting? So much so that it is normal. Because whatever you deeply accept may be influencing your experience in life. So it's important to choose wisely. It's also important to acknowledge that this kind of acceptance work takes time and practice. It's typically not a one-time instant decision. It may be, but typically it flourishes with support and kindness and self-compassion and community and love and reminders. So I invite you to do what Lizzie did this week. Create your own love yourself list. Perhaps you can make it specifically about what you accept as your spiritual nature. Perhaps you'll write statements such as, I accept that I am an expression of the creative power of life. Or you might say, there is that within me which is calm, courageous, and creative, for example. And then read it frequently for as long as you want to. And then for extra credit, here's a challenge. For the next 7 days, catch yourself every time you say or think, that's just how I am, or that's just how life is. And then ask yourself, is this something I want to keep accepting? Is this the mental equivalent I want to keep nurturing? Now I invite you to breathe in with me. And as you exhale, let your eyes close for a moment of spiritual practice. There is one infinite creative intelligence that flows through all that is. A divine presence that is accepting, affirming, expressing. It is the sacred source of all that is, the ground of all being. And I am one with this source, as is everyone in this room. The same creative power that accepts and expresses all life and all being is flowing through me. I am connected to it. Knowing this, then, I affirm that there is that within me which is powerful, causing me to have the power to select mindfully, to choose consciously what I think about myself. This awareness is causing me right now to shift from accepting limitations to accepting my spiritual magnificence. I realize that there is that within me that is free, and right now accepting a greater awareness about who I am and what is possible in my life. This word of prayer causes me to feel such gratitude. It lifts my whole being. This thankfulness then flows through every part of me. It warms my heart, it opens my eyes and lifts my spirit. And I note that I am filled with appreciation for this power of conscious acceptance. And so I release this word of prayer into what we call spiritual law as a reminder that it is listening, responding, being impressed upon by the mental images that are created through this prayer. And so I let go completely, trusting in the perfect unfoldment of this prayer. And I invite you to join me by saying, and so it is. Followed by a deep breath in and a sigh. And we use the movement of breath to make the transition to the part of our time together where we celebrate the law of circulation, which means we tap into feelings such as gratitude, appreciation, acknowledgement, and we do that through giving and also receiving. So I invite you to think right now about that which you have received from being at the Center for Spiritual Living, perhaps in the loving embrace of a friend, perhaps in the form of new friends and community, a sense of belonging, perhaps somewhere in the announcements and the prayers or the messages or music, something sparks a new awareness in you. That's the receiving. receiving. The giving is your presence here, your thoughts, your love, your prayers for our center. And today we are focusing on the financial support we give to our center so that we can keep these doors open for future generations past the time when we are no longer here. I invite the ushers to stand as you prepare your gift, perhaps placing your hand on your chest as a physical symbol of your heart connection to your center, saying, I bless this gift. I send it forth to heal and prosper. It does amazing work in the world. And so it is. Ushers, please receive the gift.
It's all about allowing peace within, in absolute surrender, so serenity begins. For when the storm subsided and calm becomes the way, it's all about allowing it to stay. It's all about allowing love to flow. It's setting down your burden and just simply letting go. For as you cease the struggle and love pours through your heart, it's all about allowing it to start. Now feel it warm and shining, new with promise, strong, undying love, different from any you had known. And now the seed is sown. It's all about allowing change to show, then living in the moment like it's all you'll ever know. And though it won't be easy, you can truly say you've tried, for it's all about allowing it inside. And now the seed is sown. It's all about allowing love to flow. It's setting down your burden and just simply letting go. For as you cease the struggle and love pours through your heart, it was all about allowing it to start.
Thank you again for all the gifts that you share with our community. For 33 years, Jo Lauer graced our center with her radiant spirit. Some of you knew her personally, others through her film Roots in My Garden that we shared here in June. Jo's celebration of life is being held here at the center this Saturday, September 6th at 11 a.m., and all are invited to attend and share their love with Jo. Membership at our center is an important milestone, and it's a time when a new member affirms that our community is their spiritual home. And this August, we held our new member orientation, and I'm so glad to announce that we have 10 new members who join a total of 40 new members this year. So let's give a warm welcome to Jan, Cindy, Alice, Desiree, Christy, Susan, Tricia, Michael, and Ava. Welcome to membership. At the core of the science of mind is the idea that the patterns of our thoughts direct the lives that we live. And the Enneagram is a system that's rooted in spiritual principle, and it maps out these patterns, and it shows us our gifts as well as the opportunities that we have to grow. And this is what you're going to learn in Kathy Galvin's upcoming class, Enneagram Map of the Soul. And class starts this Thursday, September 4, and Kathy wants me to remind you to sign up today because she has materials to send you before the class starts. So be sure to sign up today so that you can get her email. It's been said that Buddhist nun Pema Chodron is a master of teaching the ways that we can move through challenging times. Her gentle approach and the compassion and spiritual principle that she brings provide the tools and support that are needed so that we can build resilience in every area of our lives. And this is what you're going to explore in Jan Svoboda's upcoming class, When Things Fall Apart. So learn how you can bend without breaking, starting Saturday, September 13. And Jan's right there if you have any questions. So stay tuned for more about our new classes and workshops that are coming up at the end of September, where you're going to learn how you can deepen your awareness, how you can live your life from vision, and how you can rewire your mind with gratitude. Education catalogs are available at the info desk, and they're on our website, and they has a complete list of all of our classes, and you can sign up for everything there. Now, artists and crafters, you're invited to be a part of our new holiday art and craft fundraiser that's coming up in December. If you'd like to donate your original high-quality art, pick up a donation form over at the info desk, or you can visit on our website. Donations are now open, and 100% of the proceeds support the center, and I believe that our team is here out in the social hall today, too, so if you have any questions, you can go say hello to them. Sharing Our Bounty is back on Sunday, September 21st. And this year we are emphasizing plants, plant starts, seeds, and flowers. And of course, produce is also welcome to be brought. And the way this works is you bring what you like to bring if you want to bring something to share with our community. And the community comes and takes what they want, and everything is free. So don't worry if you don't have a garden or anything to bring, that's okay. You can bring yourself and a bag to bring all those goodies home with you. So that's happening on the 21st, and as I mentioned, everything is free. Now I have a question for you. Do you like to sing? Well, I think the answer is yes to that. I heard you singing along to Christopher today. Does belting out a beautiful harmony soothe your soul? Well, if that's you, then join Astra Fox this Thursday for her Joyful Frequency Song Circle, and that's at 6 p.m. right outside in the social hall. And Astra will lead you through singing as a spiritual practice, uplifting your spirits and all of the spirits of your friends one note at a time. And by the way, no singing experience is necessary. Finally, I invite you to join me in the last Spirit Walk of the year at Sugarloaf Ridge State Park this Saturday, September 6th at 9 a.m. We're going to meet by the observatory parking lot and do the Meadow Trail, which is beautiful right through the meadow. You see all the mountains and the tall grasses. It's quite lovely. So bring your friends, make some new friends, and share in lovely conversation while we take take in the beauty of Sonoma County. And you can sign up online to let me know that you're coming, and I will send you out more information as we get closer to that walk. So thank you so much for being part of our community. Please know the community does not have to end today. You can join us every Wednesday for our Wednesday evening service at 7 p.m., where there's more music, spirituality, and community. And this Wednesday, we're kicking off a new series. It's a series based on a little-known Ernest Holmes book called Basic Ideas of Science of Mind. And it's your opportunity to learn the basics of science of mind or get a spiritual practice-oriented refresher. So I look forward to seeing you there. Have a wonderful week.
Thank you, Reverend Russ, and thank you, Sherry, for the prayer, and thank you, gentlemen of the band, and thank you for being here today. If you would like a spiritual mind treatment, it's an affirmative prayer to take home with you about the power of acceptance, come and visit me at the statue of Saraswati at the exit, and I'll have one there for you. I'll also have my little bag where last week I held it up to collect change and cash for our roof renovation capital campaign. And you know, I collected over $500. It's so much fun. You know, it reminded me of something that, I don't know if this name is meaningful to you, Dr. Bill Hornaday. He was the pastor of the Founders Church of Religious Science, the Center for Spiritual Living, the first one in downtown Los Angeles. And we asked him how, when we were students with him, how he went about raising funds for it. And he said, you know, this church was built by the $1 and $5 by the people in the neighborhood. And me and Dr. Ernest Holmes walked around the neighborhood and knocked on doors and collected $1 and $2 and $3. And that's how we built this church. Now, I'm sure there's more to that story, but he was trying to impress upon us that everybody can contribute. And so during this quiet phase, when you see me with my little bag, that's my way of saying, if you don't want to be dripped upon, I'm still trying to figure out a way how we can rig a single drip in the sanctuary, you know. No, I'm not doing that at all. I'm not doing that. I'm just being funny. So let's see if there's something that is incomplete in you, or if you have something that you just are celebrating and want more support to express even better in your life, or you cried yourself to sleep last night. Whatever it is that's going on in you, you can take advantage of our in-person prayer service right here in the sanctuary today. And if you are online, you can visit our confidential Zoom room. Just go to our website for the information, and you can have the same experience of telling a prayer practitioner what it is you'd like prayer support for and listening to a custom-made affirmative prayer for you. What a beautiful way to supplement your own spiritual journey. Please do take advantage of it. And now, won't you please stand as you are able, saying, something wonderful is happening through me right now. It is this thing called life. Life is in my mind, life is in my body, and life is in my affairs. I think it, I feel it, and I accept it. Just the way that it is. And just the way that it is not. Thank you, life. Know with me that you are never alone, that Spirit is right where you are, that you have only to look within at any moment to know that you're guided, sustained, and empowered by a presence that expresses itself as you in this world. In deepest gratitude, let us live our lives accordingly, so that in everything that we do and say and think, we honor this presence within. And so it is. Let's close in song.
I release, I let go, I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, said